Oh, good morning, everybody. How's it going? Let me know that you can hear me and see my nice background right here. Hope you guys doing okay. We will start in a minute. Perfect. Okay, like always, give me some information. Are you trading stocks or Forex or futures? Give me a little bit of what you do, and if you have any symbols you want me to check or just generally you looking at for today. Obviously, for the stock market, we during the earnings season, so a lot of activity, a lot of gappers up and down, and we can take advantage of that, of course. And also on the forex side and the indices, we can see a lot of activity as well. The U.S. market getting some sellers in. We'll watch that in a second. Okay, wonderful. So before we'll go into the charts, let's talk a little bit about the topic I wanted to bring to you today. The DAX. Talk a little bit about the DAX and the S&P, the NASDAQ, because sometimes as traders, as day traders, we fell into the trap or fall into the trap of actually looking into very small time frame instead of look at the bigger picture. And what I mean by that is that even myself, when I'm day trading and I trade a 1 minute chart, from time to time you can fall in love in that 1 minute chart and do your full analysis and understanding of the chart on that 1 minute chart without watching or examining the bigger time frame, right? So for example, if you trade in a 1 minute chart, that's fine, but for entries. But if you want to really understand the structure or the sentiment in the asset that you're trading, you gotta keep an eye on a bigger time frame, like an hourly chart or a 4 hour or a daily, a weekly, depends on what you're aiming for. And that's a critical, because when you take in a supply demand area from a 1 minute chart, for example, you're losing a lot of the momentum and the strength of the asset, basically. And when you do that, you don't have the backup or the push that will come from the that will come from the bigger players in the market, right? And let me share the screen, and we will talk a little bit about that as well. Okay, I see a nice mix: stocks, ETFs, gold, DAX. Nice. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The bigger time frame controls the smaller one. And why it's important, besides the fact that you will get better liquidity areas and better supply and demand areas, you will also have the opportunity to trade more safely or more confident, with more confidence, because if you know that the bigger time frame, the daily chart, showing you the analysis of the daily chart will show you that the price should continue to the downside. Now, first of all, it makes more sense to short, right? To look for short opportunities, to short setups on the lower time frame, but also it will give you the opportunity to hold your position longer than in most cases. So you will know that even if you day trading, you don't really need to do like a quick scalp. That's fine for some uh, for for some times and for some setups, but a lot of the times you can actually continue to hold your position on the same day, like day trading, but hold your position and add more to your position along the way, instead of just cutting it very fast, take your profit, and that's it. In most cases, you will have more time to play with the trade, manage the trade, and let it drop and then pull back and you add more, then it dropped to your favor, you take some profits out and basically trade with the strong momentum from the daily chart, let's say, right? And that's the big advantage that you can actually get while trading the bigger time frame. Again, the trade itself goes on a smaller time frame, but when you actually want to take a trade, first start from the bigger time frame, so you will have the push that will come from that. So let's start analyzing and continue to talk about this exactly. Looking at the NASDAQ, the NQ, that's the E-mini NASDAQ 100 future contract, and this is the daily chart, right? Now I can go for I'll start with the hourly chart and then we'll zoom out to the daily. On the hourly chart, I can see the nice drop that we had for the last like a week or so. We reached that support level, just broke it a few hours ago, now pulling back to it. In that case, I don't have a lot to understand from it. It looks like a nice bounce could happen, but again, I'm going against the trend, and sometimes it's okay, but I need to understand if the bigger time frame actually going to push for a much higher pop than just a pullback, right? Is it a reversal, like a complete reverse in the trend, or we actually just pulling back in order to drop again? Now, if I'm only looking at the hourly chart or trying again to trade a 1 minute chart without looking at the hourly chart, a bigger time frame, then I'm basically not seeing the full picture. So if I go to the daily chart, in that case, now I can understand a lot better than what I saw on the hourly chart, right? So first of all, I see that the NASDAQ was traded in this channel. We talked about it in the previous videos. We broke that, retest that, now we're dropping down again. What can I understand? I can see that the next support level, this one, the white line here, the next support level should be at around 14,250, right? That's a major support. Getting into the gray area and the green dash, that will be also a major support to start looking for buying the dip, let's say, on a lower time frame, like an hourly chart, when we will get into that, into those levels. You can also see that the MACD trying to create like a higher lows, right? We have a, let me mark that. So we have a low here. Then right now we didn't create it yet, the low, like a really higher low, but we are trying to do so while the price already dropped below the previous low. So we're creating new lower lows on the NQ, but on the price, but the MACD actually showing us a different way, showing us a little bit higher. So one option, we will hold that position and actually shift direction from here. What I expect a little bit more than that is actually dropping down, maybe retesting, but dropping down to the next level of the 14,250 on the NQ. Again, the daily chart. Hopefully, it will show us again that we are still in a bullish signal on the MACD, so higher lows, while the price will create lower lows. And from there, it will be or make sense to start buying the dip. So let's say I took a short, doesn't matter where, but a 1 minute chart, 15 minute, an hourly chart, I took a short. And I understand from my analysis, obviously I might be wrong, but I can understand from my analysis that the price should continue lower, right? Now, of course, in most cases, it won't just drop immediately, but it will drop a little bit, then maybe pull back, consolidate, then another drop, etc. So in most cases, because I understand the bigger time frame picture, I can actually add to my position as long as the trade is with me. So the price, let's say I took that short, the price is dropping down, great. I might take some partials out. Pulling back, I'm not exiting the trade. I'm actually adding to my position because I'm in a trade that on a bigger time frame looks like a good setup for the downside. So I can trade and continue to trade that trade, add more to the position, and basically take a whole lot more than just by getting into a position and let it drop, or maybe exit very fast just because I'm trading a lower time frame. So because I have the backup of the daily chart, and I understand that the price should continue to the downside, then I can actually take that advantage and use that intraday because I know the trend should be a negative one. So that's the idea. For many years, I took partials too fast, very, like a scalper basically. And even if it wasn't just a scalp trade, I would just exit very fast because of, uh, either emotions or just not understanding what we just talked about. But now that you do, and as I continue trading, you can easily take like 2, 3, and even 4 times more than what you plan to do before, just because you understand the bigger time frame sentiment. And also when the price will drop one day, it will drop either tomorrow or 2 months or 3 months, doesn't matter. But one day when we will reach those levels, we can understand the momentum should shift because that's a major levels. So buyers should get into that position and start buying around the levels. And that should give you enough confidence that you can actually start looking to buy the dip. So if the price will drop, and let's say will play around this level and then push higher and then drop again, that could be, hold on. Okay, let's say it bounced and then pulled back. That could be a great place to look for another pullback, another buy the dip. So pushing higher, maybe dropping again, another buy the dip. So because you are in a major key level of support, then you can understand that every drop that will have should bring more buyers in to push the price higher. So even if you're trading on a lower time frame, those drops on the daily chart, on a 1-minute chart, will be a great place to buy the dip, either on a stock, on index, whatever it is. Same concept, of course, goes to DAX or any type of currency pair. Okay, let's look at the DAX. Let me bring it. And if you guys obviously have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Okay. So I'm looking at the DAX, the daily chart. In most cases, those big indices like the DAX, the FTSE, NASDAQ, S&P, um, they will see some correlation, of course, because it still represent the economy of the world. So you should expect any type, like a kind of correlation. Sometimes it will be not very close to each other, but generally speaking, you should see the same reaction in most cases. And you can see that the NASDAQ is dropping again, the daily chart dropping to this level. So we're right at it at the moment. you can't ignore it, right? That's a major support that became resistant a couple of times, acted as support again, and now we drop in to this level as well. So this will be a very interesting place. First of all, on a lower time frame to look for buy the dip mode on the DAX, right? We are at around a major support level, and like always, as I mentioned many times before, this is not a specific point, but actually an area, right? The one that I just marked here between those two red lines. So in this case, you can expect for to see a bounce in the price to go higher, but it could easily be, dropping just a little bit more, playing with the levels, and then only moving higher, right? Similar to what we had here in those candles. So you need to give yourself enough space to work the level. Now, that's a daily chart, so it's kind of hard because the range looks small, but point wise, that's a lot to risk. So when you do that, because on a real contract, you can only buy like one contract, but since you're doing CFDs, that's easily, and MetaTrader, you can actually buy 0, 0, 1, 2, and so on. So work the level means that you scale into your position, add as you continue to build the level, and when it bounces to your favor, you can add even more to that, as long as, like I said many times before, stay within the risk parameters. So this is the area you want to start working and potentially see a bounce in the price. And of course, that's when looking at the daily chart, that means I wouldn't expect at least to see a bounce that will change um, the momentum completely or the trend completely and actually send the price into a new high. But maybe a bounce that will lead to this resistance, and that should be enough for a nice trade. The other option is to wait until we break that support and actually try to look for like a break and a retest, small break and retest, and start building your short position that should be around all the way to this area right here. And again, try to keep an eye on the S&P and the NASDAQ, maybe the FTSE, the Nike, because those will usually will go together. So if you see that we broke, let's say on the DAX, we broke a major level, we can definitely expect to see the NASDAQ and the S&P reacting to that, and maybe breaking a support from their side as well. And the next major level that you can mark is this one right here, and that's enough space to have a great trade. And if we'll see that like a break and a retest, you can either try to take that short, but you can also go to a lower time frame on the DAX and try to look for short setups, because you do understand that the momentum is a negative one. So you can actually look for those short setups and try to add to your position as it goes to your favor. Of course, there are days, even when the market is dropping, of course, there are days that the price could pull back. So you need to manage it, like risk management, it accordingly or according to your risk management, and need to give enough space for errors. But generally speaking, because you understand that the sentiment is negative, you can try to ride the trend and add to the position instead of just cutting your profit very fast. Because sometimes, and if you look at your, let's say, your analysis or journal, like a trading journal, a lot of the traders that I coached before and saw trading, even in the prop firm um, that I worked with before, saw a lot of the traders that actually not making money just because they cut in their profits too fast. So they have the right system, they have the right setups, the right strategy. They can understand the market. Basically, they read it very well. They have a stop loss where they should, and all of the good stuff that any type of trader needs. But instead of letting the profitable trades actually go to their favor and make more money, it actually for them, most of them just cut their profits very fast, because it's easier for us, as traders. It's like it's a very common mistake, and we can, you can understand that, because you see a dollar sign in front of you and you see that you're right now in a profit of $100 or $10,000. It's kind of easy to make that mistake and click the mouse key just to cover that profit. But in most cases, if you already did your analysis right and you use that time frame, the bigger time frame, to your advantage, so that lower time frame trade can continue to run, basically, if you did all that, then you gotta give yourself the opportunity or the trade to actually make you more profit. And this is something that you can do by first understanding that you want to use the bigger time frame. Always want to use the bigger time frame to understand what is the momentum, how can you use that to your advantage. And second, I've said that previously as well, but this is super important. If you take out your P&L, if you won't look at it, if you literally close the P&L and won't look at it, you will see a tremendous change in your trading, because once you take the money out of the equation of trading, you will automatically become a better trader, because you're focusing on the decision-making part, like a logical decision-making part, and not the emotional part. And that's the key in general, shifting yourself to making logical decision compared to making emotional decision. Okay. Great. Rufaro. Wonderful. Okay. So that's the DAX. I saw that some of you wrote also gold. We can have a look at that. Actually, on gold, I don't recall if I talked about it here or in a different place, but I actually thought it should start dropping a little bit from before. We had a nice extended. We did talk about this bottom right here, but a few days ago, I thought that the price should start dropping a little bit faster than what it did, so around this area. But as I can see now, we did break through that with this nice tail and drop right afterwards. And of course, remember that the gold very much connected, have a very negative correlation to the market. So if the S&P or the NASDAQ are dropping, then the gold will be like a safe haven, as we know. But right now, after a very nice move to the upside, very extended move, we did reach that major resistance level here. So I'm still hoping to see a drop on gold. Again, this is the 4-hour chart. So I'm hoping to see a drop. But generally speaking, if we're looking at the NASDAQ and the price will start declining rapidly, we can expect the gold to continue higher. But just because just because we're watching a crazy move like this, that's almost 10% move in nothing compared to like less than a month, then we definitely can expect the price to decline. Maybe that the timing should be a little bit more with cautious. For example, let's try the 15. So this is the level that I actually talked about to start shorting it, and it did break through it, but went back down. Now we kind of consolidating. I still think it's the right call to short it and to add as it continue, maybe with a stop loss at this area right here. Very much depends on the market. A lot of activity in the world as you know it, and if the US market will continue to drop, then we should see a bounce or continuation in the gold. But looking at the chart as itself, like it looks pretty good to the downside for me after this very much of extended move. You can mark this trend line as well that holding that support. So maybe for those of you who want to be a little bit more cautious, you can wait until we break that trend line, retest it, and that should be that support level. And from here, try to short it. One option. The other option is try to short it right from here, but actually start small. And as it goes to your favor, you can add to that position. So gold is a bit tricky just because the market is in a tricky situation as well. Okay, sure thing. Any type of assets you want to check out? If not, we can continue to some stocks. And while doing that, let me tell you a little bit, for those of you who didn't hear about it yet, we're actually hosting a live trading contest, of a stock trading contest. Let me put it in the link for you guys. Okay, thanks. And basically, it means that on the October 30, we're gonna run 7 days of trading on stock trading contest. Let me pull it out for a second. We can talk about it and then go to the charts. So that's 7 days of trading. You actually go to the link that I just shared with you. Once you're in, you can join now. Pretty simple. Click on the rules and read a little bit about it. And we have amazing prizes. You also have a video that will explain everything very like step by step. We have amazing prizes for trading with us. 21st places will win either evaluation accounts with Trade a Pool and trade 12,000 symbols, stocks, and ETF. And for the 11 and the 20 place, we'll get $50 to their hub as credit, and then you can join Trade a Pool as well. This is an amazing opportunity for those of you maybe not familiar with stock trading. We have a lot of materials, a lot of educational content in our hub. So once you join in to this competition, you can actually get a lot of those contents. And besides that, for those of you trading, obviously, stocks, so it makes sense to join already. A few thousands joined to this contest, and it's going to be amazing. We're doing it with our friends from Benzinga. We're going to do that live with them on their YouTube channel. We're going to announce the winners and talk with some of the winners to understand what they did in order to perform well. So it's going to be really interesting, and of course the prices and the action. So make sure you check that. Okay, let's go to the chart. See what we can do today. The one trade a day will start. We don't have the date yet for it, but it will once we will, and then we will share it. Yeah, taking a bit of a hold up. Recommend using pre-market data on the chart. Okay, that's a great question, Fernando. So for okay, the market is open. So for those of you who are trading stocks, and you actually, it, and let me clarify that for those of you not trading stocks. So we do have in the stock market, we have what we call the pre and after market, and we have the market, right? We have 6.5 hours of the market and the pre and after market before or after it. During the earnings season, if you're looking for those kind of type of stocks like gappers, you definitely want to use the pre-market as well, because you want to see the data that presented in the pre-market. If you have a stock that you don't really see anything, any activity during the pre-market, then you don't need to look at it. But if you do find a stock that had a lot of activity during pre-market, then you want to watch it as well with the pre-market, because first of all, you will understand more when looking at the price action. And second, if you're using any type of indicators like EMAs, moving averages, or the MACD or VWAP or pivots, they will be calculated also from the pre-market. So it's important to look with the pre-market when it comes again to stocks that had an activity, a major activity. Bruno, let me know. I don't see a reason, but let me know. What is the issue that you're referring to? Okay. So the market is open. Again, looking good to the downside on the bigger time frame. So we'll short the NASDAQ. Let's see that. So pre-market, we pushed all the way up. The idea for me is to look for that major resistance. And we talked about it. It's already marked on my other charts. Let's see how it reacts in the next minute or so. If we will break that level, then I will try to short it. Okay. Starting small, we have a level at around, let me see exactly. So it's kind of in the middle of that. Again, this is a 1 minute chart, so I can't really say that this is a major level, right? This area right here. Although it's a level, we did see a support, a bounce again, and then broke it. So it is a level, but this is a very small level compared to what I'm basically using. So this red line right here is a bigger time frame level. As you can see, we already drop in, so I kind of missed the first move, or not saying missed, but starting small, because I do have a lot of movement against me. If it will go against me, I have a lot of dollars I can lose on that. So I'm starting small. Once it will go to my favor or go all the way up, I can add more to my position as long as it's within my risk parameters. Okay, great, Bruno. So done on the contest, the competition, it's only stocks. But again, it's kind of easy. The same concept we do have on the hub. If you go to the hub, you will see a lot of terminology. If you go to the trading space on your left side, you will see terminology for stocks, understanding the platform we're using, and all of that. And a chart is a chart. you know. Okay, you're saying Tesla is dropping. Oof, that's a nice drop on Tesla. Okay, I kind of missed that trade. I guess now we can say the Nasdaq. Although I'm in because I only took a small portion, and now it goes um, without me. Then kind of miss that moment. But again, if I'm looking at a bigger time frame, as I said, and the idea, maybe I'm wrong, but in my eyes at least, it looks still good to the downside, then I know that I can add more to my position and try to take this trade with me longer, either a few hours or maybe a day or so, because I understand that the bigger time frame should help me to push the price lower. So in that case, what I'll do is look for places where I can add more to my position. So for example, this area right here at around 14,487, at around this area, I can add more to my position. So if the price will bounce, that could be a place. Break that red level, that red line level, and retest it could be also a nice place to add. Let's see, I'm looking at my scanner to see if we have what type of activity we have here. Looking for stocks that are dropping majorly or gapping up majorly. Let me know if you're watching anything. OKTA, interesting as well. Let me pull up the charts for a second. So those levels are actually from a long time ago. I will need to mark a new one. But that you can see that on Friday, the stock dropped from 82 all the way to 73 or so, like right at the end of the day. So major news came out. Still don't know exactly, but major news came out and then it dropped again. Now pulling back a little bit. So instead of just looking for a quick trade here, I gotta understand the bigger time frame, right? I'm on an hourly chart. I'll take out the pre-market for a sec. Okay, you can see a huge, obviously this huge gap from the 74. Probably won't matter for today. What I'm looking for is the next support resistance level, and this is the one that we should mark it right at the bottom of the tail from today. So we reached that major support on the hourly chart. And I'm looking for the resistance that should block the price from continuing to the upside. I don't see it on an hourly. I'll try to go for the 4. So you can see that this is like a rangy place, so it's kind of hard to see the exact or the real area you want to keep an eye on. Should be something around 71 where I'm at right now. 70, yeah, something around that, 71. So an interesting trade could be pulling back. That's the 71, right? So pulling back, reaching that 71, and then try to short it from this area. I'm still looking at the NASDAQ on the other side. See that it continues to drop. I think I missed a place where I can add it to the position, but we look at it in a second. So a nice place to start shorting it will be the 71. The other option is breaking and retesting the 67, 68 here, the support at the bottom that we just saw from the hourly chart. See if we have more support from the previous. Okay. Oops, how interesting. Yeah. Okay. So in that case, if we'll break the 70, basically 78, if we break that, and then we have like 70 or 80 cents to drop. Let's see how it holds the 71 here. PLTR, target, they're all dropping nicely. NVIDIA. For the Forex guys, do you have any interesting pair right now that you're watching? NVIDIA looks good. Again, just go to the daily or the hourly chart, try to find the next major level to see if you have enough space to play around with it. Because right now it's just dropping, so you got to understand that you have enough room for the drop. Euro dollar, let me check. I'll pull up the MetaTrader. That could have been a very nice trade with the nice size. But like I said, I would let it ride and add more to my position as long as it continues to do what I think it should. Let's look at the euro dollar. Gold and silver, we'll check it out. Let me know what you want to do with it. The euro dollar and generally the other assets. Are you looking to short it, long, lower time frame, bigger time frame? Give me your thoughts. Okay, so the hourly on the euro dollar, I see that we marked it before, like a break and a retest that didn't happen. And we're still kind of in that range. That's a big range, obviously, but you know, for me looking at it, the only option that I see right now is trying to reach that level again, failing it, and started to short it from this area. That's the only thing I can see right now. You can maybe try to mark like those levels. So it's like very close to a channel. So going into short or on those levels might be a good idea, but I don't see anything right now to do with it because it's, you know, it's just in that range. Let it get out of that space and then you can actually have more confidence that it will go to your favor and you will be with the strong sentiment, as we said. Okay, let's check out gold. All right, so gold is starting to drop. That's actually a nice place. Okay. Yeah, and like I said, it looks pretty good to the downside. It did like a fake breakout before, dropped, retesting, holding that resistance, and then started. Makes sense that we will see a drop on gold. I mean, the price is just too extended. Just need to see, just need to manage the trade correctly so those bounces or those tails right here won't take you out when it will go against you. Fernando, let me know what you did with Baba. 5 minutes on euro dollar. Um, I mean, I can understand the idea, what you're looking for, but is it really, I guess, is it really a good setup to not setup, but is it really a good place to start buying it? I mean, you did reach that support level, right? You did a nice drop and you reached that support level. That's fine. But again, you when looking at a bigger time frame, you're just in that range, looking more bearish because maybe we pull into this resistance level and then bearish. But I don't know. It's kind of in the middle for me in this case. I'm trying to look for those trades that the sentiment in the bigger time frame are much will help me in the intraday level. That's the idea. Euro yen. That's a great pair to trade. Let's see if we have something here. Okay, hourly is kind of dead. Okay, so we're still in the range here. I got to a bigger one. Okay, see that the NASDAQ is pulling back. That could be interesting. Okay, that's the area we talked about. Let me see if it's holding. If so, I can add to my position. Going kind of strong. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for, but it's actually went above the resistance level that I wanted. So this is the area I actually wanted it to hold this position. Still got 50 or 40 seconds to that candle to see if we will close below it. But it looks like we got a V shape, a very strong V shape. I'll give it some time to work and see the reaction. Yeah, so going back, while it's doing that, going back to the euro yen, right, on resistance. So we do see a nice resistance here, and you need to give yourself, if you're looking for that short, then you need to give yourself enough space so you can play with this area, right? Because if you're getting into a position right now, it could easily go a little bit higher, play a little bit with those liquidity levels, and then only then drop. So just work the risk management correctly, so you won't let yourself get out of that trade just because it went a little bit against you, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Considering a more long-term trade, is there an opportunity to sell at a better price? I mean, if there were opportunities before that, or you mean right now? Because the place I shorted it, again, if looking at the bigger time frame, you can see that I had few trades before that, right? That I shorted it here and here, also here, and as you can see, uh, we talked about that, but I actually lost or basically missed that whole big move. I did have a nice trade here because it was with a good size, but generally speaking, I could have made a whole lot. So yeah, to add to the position, because if you're looking at the big time frame, you can see that this is the resistance that you can work with, right? So around the 14 on the MetaTrader is 14,540, 46. And if you're looking at the contract, like the future, it should be at about 14,650. So this is a place you can look to add to the position, start to scaling if you didn't before. There are a few more, yeah. Pound dollar, let me see that. Right, so 4 hour looks pretty bullish after that crazy downtrend. Reached that support, bounced, pulled back, still looking pretty good to the upside for me on the daily. On the hourly chart, let's go to a lower time frame. Okay, so one could be just waiting for that resistance, right? Breaking that resistance, pulling back to it, then try to go long. One option. Yeah, that's the option that I see here. That's a bit far, but you can also wait for that support to retest it again. So once it dropped, try to buy the dip here. That could be also a nice place to look for alongside. Okay, let's go back to the NASDAQ and see if we can do something about it. That's a crazy V shape that we got here. I see that I don't know why it disappeared, but there's a level that we talked about previously on the hourly chart. It's around here. Yeah, right about here. So this is a place I would add to my position. If the price will continue to this red line, I can add to my position. Again, as you can see, I'm in a loss, but since it's within the risk boundaries that I'm willing to take, I'm good with that. I can add to my position because my loss didn't reach my maximum loss, right? So let me see if it goes to this level, and then I can add. And again, roughly after a very extended move like this, you will see a pullback. Short in Tesla. Let's see. Hourly chart on Tesla. I need to see those levels. Close of the gap or the entry of the gap. Okay, looks pretty good. The only thing is you need to see that the market is also start to drop down again. Let me look, give it one more look and see if there is any support coming at the bottom, or where is the next support level. So you always want to go back in time, just looking for that previous support. Sometimes it won't be very clean, so it's going to be a little bit harder to recognize the level, but in most cases it will be on a technical asset, like a clearer asset, that could be a nice place. Okay, so interesting on Tesla, for example. Again, we need the market with us on this one, but a short on Tesla going all the way down to the 201.50s, that could be an interesting place to look. If not here, and if not from this level, then maybe on the 210. Yeah, very strong bounce. It almost reached my resistance, like a point or so. If it breaks that support level, the tiny one here, I will add to my position. If not, I will wait until it will reach that red line completely, and only then. Okay, edit. To be honest, I would love for it to go against me a little bit more and reach that red line. This is we are in the area of the support, the resistance that are marked, and I want it to work that level before it start to drop again. So that could be better if the price will just go a little bit higher, play the level, and only then start to drop. Nice. Yeah, nice drop on gold. AMD, yeah, also looks good. Just need to make sure you have, just make sure you have those levels. Okay, guys. So I think we can wrap it up. Still in that trade of the NASDAQ. Again, I will add more to my position if it will go a little bit higher. The other option is it's dropping down, retesting those levels again, and then adding more to my position. And again, if it will do the same on those levels, let's say drop here, retest, then it could also be a nice place that I would look to add to my position. So that's about it, guys. Yeah, hope we had a good time, and we did talk a little bit about this time frame, bigger time frame situation. So try to keep that in mind. Also, the PNL, hide your PNL. Give yourself a time to just focus on the chart, focus on the price, and not the dollar. Once you do that, you'll see. I can guarantee you a change. I mean, I saw it on myself and many other traders. So just give yourself that opportunity. A week. Take just 1 week and do that. Okay, hopefully I'll see you in our stock trading competition. And obviously next time, take care, guys. Bye.